Hello, and welcome back to the Larry D's Food for Thought show. Today we will be, of course, reading out of the old King James Bible as always. We also be reading out of the Old Testament and out of the New Testament, to the law and to the testimony. Here a little and there a little. Okay. Also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title. The Lord said, don't be a talebearer. The Lord said, don't be a talebearer. Okay. I'm going to share these scriptures with you right quick. You can jot them down if you like, or take a quick screenshot. But yeah, Lord had it written, man. He said, look, don't go up and down like a talebearer. I mean, because you can get yourself in a whole heap of trouble. All right. Not only with somebody, but also with the Lord. Okay. Because you saying something about somebody done told you, and you going to tell somebody else. Look, how do you know it's true? Once you do that, then now you also are violated. I mean, you broke the commandment. Lord told you don't bear false witness against somebody. Maybe lying on that person. How do you know that person said that? They be just talking about them, saying what they want to say, and you believe it. Then you run and tell somebody else, but I'm tell you, man, that's why the Lord say, hey, don't be no terror, because you can get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing these. We're gonna go ahead and go over these scriptures, take a look at it, and see if we can get a little understanding on it. Because man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You got them everywhere, all the time, man. People just can't hold water. Tell somebody something, they got to run, tell somebody else. It just make no sense, man. And then they find out it was a lie. Then they're gonna turn around and tell another lie just to defend the first lie. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's take a look at this and uh, go over these scriptures right quick here. We're gonna start this in Leviticus, the 19th chapter, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 16. And it reads, look. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Okay. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Look, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Don't hate somebody in your mind. Look, thou shalt in no wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Don't cause this guy to sin. Look, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So he's telling them, look, he said, don't hold no grudge against nobody. All right, so if you love your neighbor as yourself, you're not going to do yourself any harm. You won't do any harm to your neighbor. And who is your neighbor? Everybody. Okay. But hey, he said, don't go up and down like a talebearer. All right. And the Lord mean what he say. All right. Everything he had written, he mean it. All right. But let's go a little bit further on this. Let's go over here to Exodus right quick. Take a quick look at that. Now, this is Exodus 20th chapter, which is the royal law, the commandments. I just want to read one right here. This is Exodus 20. I'll read verse 16. And it reads, listen, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Okay, so don't lie on your neighbor. All right. Like I say, somebody come and tell you something. Now you gonna run and try and tell somebody else something that somebody else said about somebody. Is it true? Now, if it's a lie, what have you done? You bear false witness against your neighbor. All right. But let's go to the news book and take a look at this right quick. This is Matthew's the 18th chapter. Matthew's 18. I want to read one verse right here, verse 15, and it reads, listen, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. See that? If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. All right. So look, somebody that trespass against you, man, and you know it. Look, go to him. Don't go to somebody else. Go to talking about it. Go directly to them. Say, look, man, let's talk about this thing. Let's iron this thing out. And then if he'll hear you, look, you done gained his friend. Won't be no strife. between you and that person. All right. But let's take a look at this. Let's go to Psalms right quick. Going to Psalms, the 15th chapter. Take a quick look at this. Let's see. This is Psalms 15. Excuse me, and I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, listen, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy mountain? Look, verse 2. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. So you want to abide in the Lord's tabernacle? Look, he said, look, walk uprightly before him and worketh righteousness and always speak the truth. Okay? And now let's go take a quick look at Proverbs. Going to Proverbs, let's see, Proverbs 11. Take a quick look at this here. This is Proverbs 11. I'm going to read one verse right here. Proverbs 11 and verse 13. And read, listen, excuse me. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Okay? So don't be a talebearer. What you doing, man? You revealing everybody's secrets. All right, somebody done told it to you. They entrust in you. Keep it within yourself. Okay, they trust you, but you want to speak it. Now you done revealed it. But look, a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Keep it to yourself. All right, learn to control that tongue. All right. Now Proverbs 18. Take a look at this. Proverbs 18 and start reading at verse 7. And it reads, look, a fool's mouth is his destruction. And his lips are the snare of his soul. Okay, you see that? Gotta watch that mouth. All right. Let's see. Where we at here? Verse 8. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost part of the belly. Look at that. So look, man, you talebearer, man, you run around telling everything. Somebody done told you whether it be true or not. But man, I get back to that person. Man, it's like opening a fresh wound, man. Look, and that thing hit them like a ton of bricks, man. Go right down to the innermost part of the belly. It hurts people. Okay? So you have to watch that mouth. All right? Now, let's take a look at this. Proverbs 20. Proverbs 20. I'll read one verse right here, verse 19. And it reads, look, he that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Said it again, right? Look, therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. Look at that, man, gonna flatter his lip, run his mouth like a motor mouth all the time about everything. Look, telling everything you know. Look, what the Lord say here? He said, don't meddle with him. Get away from him. Don't hang around with him. Because you do, you're going to end up picking up their old habits. Okay? So leave him alone. Don't meddle with him. All right, plain and simple. All right, Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21 and gonna read one verse here, verse 23. Look, whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. See that? So you keep that mouth, man. Don't run up and down like a talebearer, man. Keep them secrets to yourself. Look, you keep yourself out of trouble with God and with man. Okay, you get yourself in a whole heap of trouble. All right, be just like grabbing a dog by the ears, man. It bites your head off. Okay, so remember that. But let's go right here. One more proverb right here. No, I got a couple more. All right. Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26. Read one verse right here. Let's see. Verse 20. Listen. Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceases. You see that? So look, if you add fuel to a fire, what it's going to do? It's going to burn. All right. But if you take the fuel away or take the wood away from the fire, what it's going to do? It's going to go out, and there you all that uh all that strife that talebearer has put out there will cease. Where there's no talebearer, no more strife. Okay. But let's look at this. One more Proverbs. Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29, I'm starting reading at verse 11. And it reads, look, a fool uttereth all in his mind. Look at that. A fool, man. You got people always running that mouth all the time, man. Everything come to their mind. They spitting it out there. Look. But a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. Okay. Now, verse 20. Look, see if thou a man that is hasty in his words, not really one to flatter his mouth all the time. No, Lord told he said, be quick to listen and slow to speak, right? So look, see if thou a man that is hasty in his words, there is more hope of a fool than of him. Okay? The man is hasty with his words, man, slow to speak, quick to listen. Hey, and he's not hasty with those words, man. He is better than a fool. I mean, the man that does this, a fool is better than him. Okay, so that's why we got to watch that tongue, people. Do not go up and down as a tale bearer among the people. All right, now let's go to this last place right quick. Take a quick look at this. Going to James. James, third chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 5. And it reads, look, even so the tongue is a little member, a small member in our mouth, right? Look, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. Look, verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, man, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Boy, that tongue is a bugbear. You see that? You got to learn to control that thing. Look, 7. For every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed and has been tamed of mankind, right? Verse 8, but the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. Man, I'm going to tell you, that thing is life and death in that tongue, boy. Tell you something. Look, got to learn to control that thing, man. Just like a poisonous snake. Man, and you running up and down like a talebearer, man, telling everything that's come to your mind or telling everything about somebody what they done told you that may be a lie. Man, look, got to learn to control this tongue, all right, and this mouth, all right. But as I said, the Lord said, don't be a talebearer. And I hope that you understood these scriptures, and I hope that it will help you and me too, okay? Because I can fall victim. Everybody can. If we don't control this tongue. All right. So, with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.